Thank you so much, sir.
Now we move on to our first session, the panel discussion on building a research-based entrepreneurial ecosystem in Kerala. We have an eminent panel of experts with us today. We invite the dignitaries to the dais. We are honored to have Professor K.P. Sudhir as our moderator. With over 2 decades of experience as a teacher, researcher, and extension scientist, he currently leads the Department of Agricultural Engineering, Raftar Agribusiness Incubator, and the Center of Excellence in Post-Harvest Technology at KAU. His expertise in agricultural engineering and post-harvest technology will bring invaluable insights to this discussion.
Joining him, we have chairperson of this session, Dr. P.V. Unnikrishnan, Member Secretary of Kerala Development and Innovation Strategic Council.
Our esteemed panelists are Dr. C.N. Ramchand, CEO and CSO, Maggenome Technologies, and President and CEO of Saskin Life Science Private Limited, a biotech startup focused on innovative healthcare solutions. He has led leadership positions in Kemin Pharma India and Kemin Industries South Asia Private Limited, contributing significantly to advancements in pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals.
Next, we have Dr. Sebastian C. Peter, Professor, New Chemistry Unit, JNCASR, and co-founder and director of Breathe Applied Sciences Private Limited. His expertise in sustainable energy, material science, and green chemistry bridges the gap between fundamental research and practical applications in carbon capture and clean energy solutions.
And we have Dr. Preeti M., CEO, TBI NIT Calicut, and a dedicated enabler of the startup ecosystem. She collaborates with organizations like KSUM, ISBA, and TIE Kerala to promote innovation and entrepreneurship, playing a crucial role in nurturing and supporting startups across multiple sectors.
To begin with, we invite Professor P.V. Unnikrishnan for the chairman note.
Good morning, everybody. I'm extremely happy to be here for this consultation on building research-based entrepreneurial ecosystem in Kerala. I have a parallel session which is due to start soon, so I will miss the excitement of the panel discussion, and I would start off with a few opening remarks. I mean, one of the very important constraints when we are talking about building up an entrepreneurial and research-based ecosystem in Kerala, I would like to flag is, world over, there are 2 approaches to development. You can take an investment-led approach, or on the other hand, you can take a non-investment-led approach. Kerala historically has got several constraints in pursuing an investment-led approach. I'm not talking about the fiscal crisis or any such current issues. As a developing country, India had been looking at utilizing its natural resources and moving into industrial growth. If you look at Kerala and compare with the rest of the countries, I mean the rest of the states in the country, in terms of mineral resources, ferrous minerals, Kerala is nowhere. Non-ferrous minerals, Kerala is nowhere. Minor minerals, we have got a little bit, some sand and some limestone and gravel and stuff like that. Fuel minerals, we are nowhere. The only mineral resource where you have something of reckoning is atomic minerals, which is completely under the control of Government of India. So basically, we are a resource depleted or resource non-available state, a resource scarce state. The only resource that we have is human resources and biological resources. In terms of biodiversity, I mean, having biodiversity and having interconnected water bodies, it's fine. We have a natural bounty, great thing. But that also poses serious challenges in terms of development. So this is the Kerala context in which we have to look at. We have to talk about, when we are talking about building a research and entrepreneurial ecosystem, I think that this context has to be kept in mind. But this gives also a lot of opportunities. Compared to the rest of the country, I do agree that a research ecosystem building, it is a global problem. We need not be very seriously concerned about the local context. But I mean, it is much better to pitch ourselves into the reality of the Kerala context and talk about building the system. That is why I am starting from Kerala. So, what is the alternative to investment-led approach? I am not saying that we cannot bring in investment and there is no point in targeting on investment. We will have to look at investment. There is no point in us remaining at the margins as far as investment mobilization is concerned. Anup Ambika is there, and a lot of other people from the industry are making an effort, and we are making a major effort for industrial mobilization next month in Cochin. So that's important. I am not saying that that's not important. But what we should focus is, we have to focus on an innovation-led strategy, which is an alternative to the investment-led strategy, which is best suited for Kerala. Kerala is also the hotbed of second-generation problems. Nowhere in the country we have second-generation problems. You leave aside the Bimari states, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. The issues there are basically in terms of addressing the quantitative issues of education, healthcare, housing, and other basic amenities, whereas Kerala has been able to address all these. We are into the second generation type of problems. We are also having problems of high population density and high levels of urbanization. These poses a variety of distinct challenges in the Kerala context, which are fast turning into wicked problems. So my first submission is that we should try to address some of the contextual problems and leverage upon these problems and build up and research and entrepreneurial ecosystem where we have an incubation location straight away available, focusing on the issues locally. So from this point of context, I would like to highlight a few points, and I will not take much of the time of the panel. First one is looking at sustainable agricultural food system. When I am talking about sustainability, I am not really carried away by organic and things like that. Sustainability means we have to look at the ecosystem in totality, that's all. So I am not taking a fanatic position that there has to be only organic agriculture and stuff like that. We have to use the modern technology. We have to look at possibilities of coming up with climate resilient varieties and precision farming, and also we have to use IoT systems for, build IoT systems for addressing our soil and water related issues, and also look at options for vertical farming and urban farming, because we are a place where we have very hardly the land availability, and we have, for equity concerns, we have taken up land reforms, and this has created a very low scale of economy of scale, and this has created problems in terms of production and productivity. So we have to devise highest technology inputs to ensure that solutions are available for sustainable agriculture and food systems. Point number one. We have yield gaps of the order of approximately 20% compared, 20 to 30% compared to the national targets. So there is a need for us to address the yield gap of many of the crops. There is a potential for using high technology, using a classic STI, science and technology based innovation approach. We have to address these issues. Point number two is biodiversity conservation. We are gifted with biodiversity. 25% of India's biodiversity, as per the UNESCO heritage documents, belongs to Kerala. That's a great thing. There are challenges in terms of maintaining our forest cover and also addressing the livelihood supports inside the forest, which has been a major issue of the human-wildlife conflict along the entire forest corridor. So there is a need for us to look at these issues systematically. And so we have to look at DNA barcoding and genetic approaches, basically looking at sustainability, and also address the fragmentation issue using GIS and other remote sensing techniques. Water management and conservation is a major issue. Water scarcity is becoming a very serious problem. 30% of the households rely on bore wells and surface water. That's not a major issue. Kerala had been traditionally using open well sort of things, but there is a high level of coliform in most of the open water sources also. 20% water availability, per capita water availability in Kerala compared to the national average is 20% less. So there is an issue which has to be addressed, and we have to seriously look at water management and conservation. Unfortunately, we have a very fast declining terrain, and whatever water falls on the land surface is quickly leading to the ocean. So there is a need for us to devise appropriate water management and conservation techniques. 10% of our energy consumption is increasing annually. This is a very high rate of energy consumption, so there has to be focus on renewable energy conservation and efficiency. This is another contextual problem which we have to address. Health and wellness. We have a high burden of non-communicable diseases, and the promoting mental health is also a major problem. Ramchand is here. He had been working with us on the genomics program. We also have a center of excellence in microbiome and nutraceuticals also established. These are all his favorite areas. I'm sure that in the area of wellness and in the case of healthcare, we have to seriously look at genomic options and then take ourselves forward, while retaining the capability, the excellent capabilities of the beautiful family healthcare system, but in terms of diagnostic systems and in terms of extensive coverage, looking at non-communicable diseases, we have to come up with programs. For instance, cancer has been one of the major issues which has been addressed in the recent budget. I think some of these issues have to be very seriously looked at. Digital technology and entrepreneurship. Anup is here. We are having a fairly good coverage of the startup ecosystem. 10% of the state's GDP is coming up from digital enterprises, but this is far smaller compared to our potential. This one area where we can bring in innovation and entrepreneurship also should reach 75% of our education institutions. The coverage is not enough. In fact, we have an excellent program called IEDC run by the Startup Mission and another program called Young Innovators Program run by us, but still the coverage is not enough. There is a need for us to ensure that 75% of the education institutions are covered and the vibrance of the innovation and startup ecosystem is retained. And this would be a very important component to drive the digital technology, emerging technology, and entrepreneurship in the state. Now, the last and the most important point is as far as education and skilling. Education institutions have to seriously transform itself. That's one of the major challenges that we're facing, because from 12th standard onwards now children are leaving the state. I am not saying that it is all because of the poor educational status, but there are other wider social issues also which we have to address. But more importantly, there are serious constraints in terms of employability. Our reservation wages are very high, as it has come out through the excellent studies which Center for Development Studies have come up with. Then we are a generally risk-averse community, and the geographic mobility is also very less. These are the major challenges in terms of employability. I am myself heading the knowledge economy mission, and this is a major challenge that we are facing in terms of employability. So skilling in the latest technologies is extremely important, and this is going to be a major factor to transform our ecosystem. So these are some of the important areas which I feel should be part of the discussion points, and I am closing my remarks here with these points, and I would wish my panel a grand success. I would have to leave right now for the session on postgraduate students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Professor K.P. Sudhir, Professor of Kerala Agricultural University, to hand over a memento to Dr. P.V. Unnikrishnan as a token of gratitude and appreciation.
A very good morning to all of you. Morning onwards, we are listening to startup ecosystem and what is a startup and how we can build up this startup ecosystem. And we all know this group actually at least gathered here are very much aware about startup system and also its importance. And we listen to a very vibrant session in the morning from startup CEO, Dr. Anup Ambiga, my friend. And again, another rich panel, of course, under the chairmanship of Dr. Unikishan sir. We just listened to again Unikishan sir. And now we have an eminent panelist over the dais, Professor Sebastian C. Peter, then Dr. C.N. Ramchand, then Dr. Preeti from NIT Calicut. So the panel is selected such a way that I think these panelists are from different areas. For example, Unikishan sir already mentioned about his areas and even know what KDISC is doing to inculcate entrepreneurship even from school days onwards through YIP program. And now another section like science environmental startups and chemistry based startups. Again, we will listen from Professor Sebastian sir. And just now Unikishan sir was mentioning about genome and then biotechnology based startups. We will listen from C.N. Ramchand. And of course, NIT, TBI, definitely we can listen to more technical based incubation support from Dr. Preeti. And of course, being the moderator, myself, Sudhir, heading Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University. So, agri-based startups, then biotechnology-based startups, or genome-based startups, then we have environmental-based startups, technology-based startups. And all these startups mentioned again by Dr. Anup Ambiga also in the initial introductory keynote session. Apart from this one, entire the scope of startups not restricting with IoT and robotics, and he explained how we can connect with the society and how we can link with the science and how the startups can be. You can think about in all spheres of science. Only ultimate aim is actually the business. So for that, we all know that Kerala is strong in the startup ecosystem, means number one in our country, mainly because we are the one, the Kerala state is the first state actually come up with a startup policy. And the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem is well developed again with the support of Kerala Startup Mission and also the technology business incubation centers associated with most of the technical universities and institutions. And we, of course, Kerala Agriculture University also has nearly 4 incubation centers, starting from Trivandrum campus, then Central Thrissur campus, then Malappuram Agri Engineering campus, and again we have in northern side also we have situated in our College of Agriculture, Patanakkad. So we have many incubation centers within Kerala Agriculture University. Similarly, many incubation centers are located in most of the technical universities. So this is to inculcate this entrepreneurship when you are studying. And in the keynote itself, it was mentioned, apart from teaching and scientific, skill, you should actually, instead of seeking job, you should act as a job provider. So that is why we are taking this much effort and it is associated with most of the professional college to translate to an entrepreneur. So that is the effort we are also doing at Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University. Now let me brief what we are doing in Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University. So far, we have nearly 250 agri-based startups. Okay, we promote only agri-based startups at Agribusiness Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University. Unlike Kerala Startup Mission, of course, their domain is wide and they support everyone. But our financial support or mentoring and technical mentoring is limited to agri and food-based startups. So far we have nearly 250 startups and we have funded so far nearly 12.2 crores to the potential startups. And means out of this 245 we have mentoring, we have supported nearly 100 startups with 12.21 crores. It, of course, works in most of the IoT-based, in agri-based, IoT-based, then production, products, value-added products. And how we are supporting through the business incubation centers, through the potential startups. We are funding a range of 4 lakhs to 25 lakhs grant. 25 lakhs grant we are supporting for the commercial scale-up, okay? And ideation stage for college students, we are giving up to 4 lakhs. If you have a good idea, which is related to agri or food or sensors, or it could be mobile app, anything which connect farmers, that's all. It should be a helpful tool to the farming community. A backward linkage should be there with the farming community. Then you are eligible for, if you are a student, you are eligible for 4 lakhs. If you have registered startup, means company, then you can get up to 5 lakhs for ideation. And then for commercialization, you will get 25 lakhs. This is a grant, not a loan, okay, not a subsidy. This is a purely grant. So avail that grant. Every year, in the month of May, Agri-Business Incubation Center of Kerala Agriculture University invite application. So it's similar to Kerala Startup Mission also. So we are inviting application once in a year, and usually that will be in the month of May, 1st to 30th. And you can apply, you can be ready with your idea, if the idea is related to agriculture, okay? Anything related to agriculture. It could be any soil, the microbiome we were discussing, and prebiotic, probiotic, value-added products, soilless media, aquaponics, hydroponics, water management, new pump design, which improve the efficiency of the pumps, anything. You can come up with any idea related to agriculture, okay? We are there to support you. So with this brief intro, I think I would, we will go for to introduce other speakers in the panelists. And first, I would like to introduce our Professor Dr. C.N. Ramchan. Of course, he is one of the mentor, you can say, and also associated with many of the startups in genomics, and is good in biotechnology. So he will be explaining what he is doing and what type of startup he is mentoring. And then, of course, we can invite questions. So initially now I told what is Agri-Business Incubation Center, how we are supporting agri-based startups. So be ready with the questions to me towards the end of the panel discussion. And similarly, each speaker will be explaining what they are, what their domain, and then be ready with the questions addressed to the panelists. Okay? So now I request Dr. Ramchan to brief about it.
Thank you, Dr. Sudhir, for the introduction, and thank you to Kerala Science Congress, Kerala Academy of Science, then KCST, Dr. Sudhir again, and all the invitees and members of this program. So let me tell you one thing. I'll just briefly give my journey from an academician into an entrepreneur. And please remember, don't do like I have done much later, all this entrepreneurship. So you have the right time to do now, not like me, but still I'm successful in setting up the things. So I did my organic chemistry, purely maths, physics, chemistry from Kerala University, and went to Baroda to do biochemistry. The transformation from a total maths, physics, chemistry into biology is a tough thing. But I had a phenomenal mentor called Professor C.V. Ramakrishnan. You all might be knowing who is Professor Venki Ramakrishnan. Venki Ramakrishnan was my colleague over there in MS Uni, who is a Nobel laureate. And his father was my PhD guide, a very tough, taskmaster. And he also gave an opportunity to teach the students from day one biology. So that's the way I learned biology. I did my PhD. I started teaching as a lecturer there. And the moment I got my PhD, I went to US. I did my postdoctoral. Then after 3 years, I went to UK. Next 14 years, I worked there as university teaching and research and several PhD students. Then I decided that I've settled very well and decided, no, this is not the right something I should do, come back to India. Then I got into all the pharmaceutical company, and finally when I got into Sun Pharmaceuticals, at that time also that was the largest company, as the head of research to take care of the biotech as well as the NC, new chemical entity or drug discovery. I decided to come there. And at that time, I got a phenomenal mentor. That is Dilip Sanghvi. I am sure you all might be knowing who is Dilip Sanghvi. He was at point the richest Indian, more than Mukesh Ambani. Now he is the third or fourth, richest person. And he really guided me. And remember, he's just a BCom person. And he guided me what to do. And please remember, I came from academics into one of the largest industry. And I set up a research center with about 600, 700 people at that time. Now it's about 3,000, 4,000 people are there. From there, I decided that, I wanted another change. So that time I was totally working on NCEs, new chemical entities or biotech products, including vaccines. Then I came to another company called Chemin Industries, a US-based company, mainly agri-foods. So that company was mainly involved in agri-foods, pharma, as well as natural products, nutraceutical. Here I learned how that, food safety, food efficacy, and, in agri-foods mean mainly for, layer, broiler, those type of chicken, ruminants, those type of about 23 products I introduced, innovative products there. Then I decided I want another change. That was the time I entered into nutraceutical and nutraceutical-based products. I have a lot of things to discuss about nutraceutical, what is happening in India, but I don't think we have time. But let me tell you, at least 12 very innovative products I introduced in the US market. And anybody who is interested in doing nutraceutical product, please look into introducing this in the US market, because US market is about $280 to $300 billion in nutraceutical. In India is about $1 to $2 billion. And it is very difficult to sell the product in India, but you can always, and the easiest place to introduce nutraceutical, US market. Then subsequently, I decided, because Sam came to me, do a startup. That was the first thing to start. We started with a company called Saxon Life Sciences. Saxon was mainly a novel biologic development, and this novel biologic for macular degeneration or wet AMD. Now, over a period of few years, we have successfully set up the people, and I will tell you the most difficult thing was getting the right people. Not getting the money, getting the right people. So I had to take whatever is available and to train them. And we are the first one to develop from India any novel biologic, and that is going for a phase 1 trial. Subsequently, a second company called Theragen Biologics has started. That is for diabetic retinopathy, a different molecule. And this is again the first molecule to get a C6 approval. What is called, you can go for a phase 1 trial. So we are ready to go for a phase 1 trial. And we are also funded from NBM, National Biopharma Mission, about 6 crore. We also have many other companies, and one of the very important company which I developed is called MagGenome. MagGenome is one of my own technology using magnetic nanoparticle or triferric tetroxide, and about 7 students work, PhD students, whether they have done in Slovakia or in UK or in India, and I actually translated. An example I will tell you, during COVID time, you all might be knowing how the COVID price from 2,500 to 400 came. This is mainly, there are 3 things are there: collection, extraction, and RT-PCR. We developed everything, but the extraction was very competitive. It was only by Quiagen, and they were selling one extraction is between 400 to 600. The moment we introduced, we got, of course, it took for 9 months to get the approval, and in 9 months, about 100 crore we sold. And that was the time the price came down. Then, a few other companies we have started. You all might be knowing about Cygenome, AgriGenome, then Cygenome Life Sciences. So multiple startup, all successful companies. And any of this product, if you want to know, and I would be very happy to tell you also once it is finished. But what I wanted to tell is that during my journey, I got some very excellent mentors, and they understand the industry. Of course, first was Professor C.V. Ramakrishnan, who was my PhD guide. Subsequently, Dilip Sanghvi, who is the chairman and managing director of Sun Pharmaceuticals. Then when I was in Chemin Industries, the president and the worldwide president, they were mentors for me for, helping me, supporting me for developing and introducing the product. And finally, Sam Santosh, who is the genomics person of India, who himself was having an IT company in US. He started the biology, genomics company, and that is the way I became an entrepreneur. And I will tell you one thing, that once you start as an entrepreneurship, you will never move away, you will never take a job. This I can tell you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Ramchand. And he already explained now his journey and also the mentoring, what is the importance of mentoring and also the networking and collaboration, of course, in the Mac Genome. So that was an excellent experience sharing, sir. I hope the startups and the budding startups and our students, friends, you can just be prepared with the questions, okay, to Professor Ramchand. And now we will move on to the next panelist, Professor Sebastian C. Peter. And we all know the energy crisis and environmental impact and climate change. And what is the potential area, means the scope of startups in this energy sector as well as the environment sector, especially with respect to, I think, with the chemistry background. I think now Professor Sebastian will be explain you what is his journey and how he can support you and mentor you. Over to Sebastian, sir, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So thanks for this opportunity. I'm from Kerala. I'm from this part of the world, only 15 kilometers from this place to my home. So I can understand the political scenario of the technology here after interacting with the many people who is in the area of the technology transfer, etc. I did my master's from St. Thomas College, Thrissur, and another master's from Cochin University. So chemistry and chemical engineering, a mixture of both. Then I moved for my PhD in Germany, University of Münster, and Max Planck postdoc, and then US, another postdoc. So in the introductory talk, as mentioned, we all, even including me, was an interest of, go and come back, get a postdoc, come back and get a job, an academic job, get the salary. This is what only the idea was. It was the platform at that time. So I feel so jealous at you people. You are in a better world with a lot of opportunities. It's a startup booming. We are number 3 in the world in terms of number of startups, as a country. I feel that I born a little bit earlier. So I could have born the era that you born. So a lot of opportunities. Then I joined as a faculty in Jawaharlal Nehru Center. This is a Department of Science and Technology. There I started to guide the students for their PhD. That's the main motive. Then teaching them, mostly PhD students, integrated PhD students. A group of, something around 10, now there are around 30 students, including PhD, postdocs, etc. The job is nothing but teaching, supervising, and then you will have a good salary. This continued in 2015, easy, writing the papers. And I don't know how many people read, but I enjoyed my science. Still I enjoy my science. Then 2016, that was the revolutionary change happened in my life. Started to think about something different. At that time, the startup, the country promoting startup, but I never thought of starting a company. But I wanted to have a technology transfer. As a part of that, we made a team with a couple of my colleagues and started a competition called Energy Cosia Carbon X Prize. This is a $20 million competition. $20 million competition for a period of 5 years. And I got the inspiration from one other team Indus. You can Google it and you can get all the information. They were in the final part of another competition, just 3 kilometers away from me in Bangalore. That was around $40 million competition. So that's nothing but a soft landing of space shuttle at the surface of the moon. as a first private agency. So they were in the final, supported by ISRO. Unfortunately, could not do, but that motive, actually I got it and then moved to start a company. And then we entered in a quarter-final, semi-final, final, with a milestone prize $500,000, internationally well recognized, and then that's the boom started. So, but without losing my fundamental science, I continued the journey, and we got Best Startup Award by Karnataka State Government. Last year, Government of India. Then before that, National Technology Award from the Technology Development Board, KPMG Best Startup Award, Tata Steel Best Startup Award, ONGC Best Final Run-Up, and Monarch in so many companies. So, but I had a really tough life, to be honest. Really tough life, because it was not a good platform, because everybody was learning at that period. Maybe you also know that one. It is not the way well structured at this moment. I am trying to give an inspiration, to you, how you can build up. So it was not well structured. When I talk to the officials, they don't understand how to build a legal document. As a chemist, a partial chemical engineer, I have to learn the legal norms. I have to understand the accounting system. I have to understand, the bureaucracy. So it's a kind of, all-rounder job. We have to go through that. And when you start a company, don't feel that, okay, I know the technology, that's enough. No. You have to go out of the box. You have to go out of the box. There is a risk factor. Risk factor is a calculated risk. There is nothing it is not possible. It is possible. So I had to learn that. I had to go beyond that. And then we built the first plant in the country, that is CO2 to methanol plant in the country, first plant. And that is evaluated by national and international agencies. And we run this plant several months. We got the international certificates. And this month I am going to commission first plant in an industry sector for the technology that I have developed. Okay. So, but the problem me having, and every industry sectors, they want to invest, but the problem is having, I am keeping my legs in two boats. One is in the teaching and another is in the industry. This is a risk factor. To be honest, I'm telling you, it is extremely hard to manage, and so far I managed that one, but that will not go a long way. So I had to come out of my leg from one boat to another boat, and then do that one. So when you start a career, I hope most of you are in the range of 20 to 30 years old probably, and then you have to consult the people who are having the good experience. I'm happy to help you. To be honest, I can help you. At this moment, I'm thinking about at least 3-4 startups, but I am looking for somebody having a really good fire in the business skill and the positive vibe and the knowledge in your technology you are looking for. I'm talking about energy and environment. And Kerala, the problem, we have the same, the first talk I'm taking, we don't have, Dr. Nikrishna mentioned that one. Our strength is marine, probably one of them, and brain. Unfortunately, most of the students are going out. This is a sad part. We are also facing the same problem. We are not getting good PhD students the way we got 5 years back. This I don't know, maybe you are not confident enough to continue here, or you are having the fantasy to go outside, or the lack of jobs available, whatever the reasons, multiple reasons. But believe me, this next 5-6 decades, this country is going to lead the world. If you are going outside and getting the training, the way I also got the training, I came back. This country is going to lead the world. And if you don't do that one, you are going to miss the best. Get the training and come back. I'll talk a bit more about the technology in detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sebastian, and that was a wonderful journey you have mentioned, and translation from the academics to industry, and definitely I think he has given the offer to you. Please think about it, and hope you will get good candidates from this group. Okay, so with that again, thank you, and now we will move on to the another incubation head. Okay, as today morning I was in introductory remarks I was mentioning about agribusiness incubation center. Similarly, another technology business incubation center is working with again NIT Calicut. So Dr. Preeti M is heading the Technology Business Incubation Center of NIT Calicut, and they are also supporting such ideation and also prototype stage innovations from the students segment or any entrepreneurs also. So I request Dr. Preeti Manilayadam to explain what NIT TBI is showcasing for you all. Please, over to Preeti.
Thank you, Sudhir sir, and thank you KCST and Kerala Agriculture University for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to talk about what NIT is doing. NIT Calicut, as you know, is a premier engineering college, engineering institute of national importance among the other 31 NITs all over India, which was originally known as the Regional Engineering College when it was established in 1960s. So having done a long journey, of course, NIT, as any of the other engineering colleges, it is probably, having a lot of researchers and PhD scholars of, very good knowledge and wisdom doing their studies there. But probably, as most of us say, there is definitely a gap between the academia and industry. That is, of course, what we also were having in the institute. So a few years back, we also started with the incubation of startups, wherein we started with the Department of support from Department of Science and Technology and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Ministry of MSME and all. But as you know, when the incubation center was started as a sector agnostic incubation center, unlike what Sudhir sir is having here exclusively for agriculture startups, we, at NIT, there is different kinds of engineering technologies being developed, and because of that, probably we were looking for mostly engineering-based startups. But in the early years, it was only IT and mostly a little bit on the electronic side also. But later on, the startups also, other engineering startups also picked up, understanding the importance of leveraging on the technologies of NIT. What we do normally is, we have a lot of research labs and technically bright faculty and students at NIT, who, as we also face the same challenge as my previous speakers was telling and Dr. Unikrishan was telling, like the brain drain, like after graduating from the premier institute like NIT, going abroad and going to other places for higher studies as well as for job. But there is the very good opportunity for placements, and good corporates also pose a challenge to the startups and technology-based, technology coming out of the institute. So we opened up the incubation center to all, not only the NITians, and unlike the major incubation centers in India like IIT Bombay, Sain and all, where they are catering mostly to the IITians, but especially situated in the rural side, in far away from the cities, and of course the traditional city of Calicut, where trade is more important than the startups and the manufacturing kind of businesses. It is a tough job to have an incubation center and breeding ground for startups there. So, but however, we had around 125 startups so far, which mostly into IT and IT sector. Of course, having around 30 crores turnover a year and all, we do have startups, but mostly into IT. Then slowly we started mostly into the product development side, and around we do have a lot of student activities also nowadays, like thanks to Kerala Startup Mission and KDISC and all, for the awareness creation among the students throughout Kerala, because of which we get a lot of good ideas from the students for coming as a startup. And it is basically well connected, the startup system in NIT is well connected with the faculty researches that is going on, and with thanks to the Ministry of Education's National Innovation Startup Policy, which is allowing the faculty also to form the startups, wherein the faculty could be also the directors of the startups, and that is actually paving the way to research, very pure research-based startup in NIT, in our institute. We have one of our startups being showcased here in the stall, which is developing some coating for anti-biofouling coating for the marine vessels. So these are there are mostly when an entrepreneur with an idea is coming to NIT, we try to connect them with any of the labs or any of the professors who are doing similar researches, so that they will be able to get more of the benefit from what is going on in the academia. So as most of us knows, yes, in academia the researches are happening on one side, and there definitely is that when you say the technology readiness level, many of the academic researchers have to still come up to the TRL level, which could be directly commercialized. Our effort is mostly on that side now, and of course trying to find out good industry partners for transferring the technologies being developed as in the research labs. So that is what we are having for the startups and industry. We had around 125 startups and around few crores of rupees being given grant, because we are NIT TBA is connected with most of the ministries and who are doing some work in the startup side, innovation side, and few crores of rupees given as grant and loan to the startups also. So any researchers, any of the innovators who are working, who feel that there could be some value addition to you from the NIT side, from its engineering researcher side, you're welcome to our institute. And we are trying to showcase our researches and patents. We have got a good number of patents also in the institute. So we're trying to showcase these researches and patents on 4th and 5th of March in a program called ECASWA. So any of you who are looking for some good technology for commercializing, for transferring from the academia, you're welcome to NIT on these days, and please come and join us for witnessing those kind of technology showcasing in whatever is happening in NIT. Thank you. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti, for explaining how Technology Business Incubation Center is supporting the startups, especially non-NITians. Okay, because you may think that if an incubation center is working with NIT, that is only for NITians. No, it's not like that. It's for everyone. And Agri Business Incubation Center working with the Kerala Agriculture University, our startups 90% is non-agriculture based. Okay. 90%. So that means it shows actually it is open to everyone. Okay, it is not based on your academic qualification. It is not based on your, it is mainly based on innovation. Okay, innovation and the commercial scalability. I think all business incubators are working with that. So if you have an innovation, and if that innovation has a potential for commercial scalability, of course, the government schemes are there, whether it is Nidhi Prayas or whether it is Raftar, whether it is Startup Mission, all are there to help you. If you only thing is what you require, as Professor was mentioning, fire. That fire is that, then definitely we are there to support you. Mentors are there. And this is the era of networking and collaboration, and all incubation centers working, together in whether it is working in Kerala or in India. We are all there to support you, and our network will support you. Our mentors are there. A group of mentors are there. Okay. Now, we explained about our domains like biotechnology or drug side, then environment and energy, technical support, then agri-based startups. Now it's open to you. If you have quick questions, of course, this is the forum to interact. So any questions from our budding entrepreneurs or students? Come on. Please share the mic with the students if someone is raising their hand. Anyone interested to know about the further financial support from any of the incubation centers? Or you can also ask questions on mentoring, how we can mentor you. No questions?
500 people are sitting there,
almost 500, I think. Yeah, yes, come on.
Sir, like how about the infrastructure facilities like characterization setups and all? And what is that for startups you have? What is the incentives you give for characterizations, testings and all those things?
Which product is it?
We are a startup working in converting industrial pollutants into products.
Pollutants into products.
We are a TBA startup of
Yes.
NITC.
Yeah, I will give a general plan, overall.
Contribute one more thing. We are just facing two problems. One is the cost, because every university, every center, they consider us as industry. Because we being bootstrap startups, we cannot pay the industry charges for these characterizations. That is one thing which we are facing. And the second thing is the queue. Because researchers are ready to wait for 1 or 2 months because they have the stipend opportunities. But we cannot wait for our innovation to be in the market for another 2 years just because there is a queue in any of your laboratories or any of your centers. Because we would like to have a priority in the number of trials or in the list of whatever the characterization list is going on. In the queue, we would like to have a priority, and we would like to have a student costing. That is one thing which we are facing across institutions, not just one institution, across institutions. Is there anything as you can do for that?
Yeah. Okay, this is a very important point. I also noticed that startups are always charge as similar as the industry sector. This is a very good point. So what we, at least in our circle, so we have a certain agreement between the startup and then this institute where the incubation happened. They have the infrastructure facilities. And for example, I will give an example of in the Institute of Science, IIC. There is a department called SENSE. There is an incubation center, and there are a lot of instrument facilities. They have certain subsidized way of utilizing the facility as per the agreement between the institute. I hope Kerala government should have the similar approach, and you have to have a dialogue probably with the incubation center to get a subsidized form. So I'm just translating what we are coming from that.
So the one more point is the queue in the system.
Sorry?
The queue in the system. Like for characterization, we are approaching your institute as IISc.
That's a universal problem, unfortunately. So depends on the policy of the institute. They will categorize the priority to the institute, research, the industry research. So if the particular characterization you are looking for, it's a crowded one. So it will take a long time. And for that one, they will have multiple instruments to avail that one.
Sir, like in an NIT chemical lab, we have a facility like after every 4th sample, they give a priority for the startup or industry.
Okay.
So can you do something like that, sir? So that will be helpful.
Point. We should accept that one. But for that one, infrastructure creation by the
policy has to change, sir.
It has to change. It's a good point. It will help actually to do in a faster, process. The technology that developed by the startup.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. It all depends, as you were mentioning, it all depends, the queue depends upon the demand of that particular instrument.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a request to the startup, Kerala startup, team. Such kind of, R&D center you can create, and that is open for the, the startup, as an, subsidized way of utilizing the facilities. So many people can come forward. I also face the problem, talking about even though I had a lot of facilities, there are certain cases you have to wait for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. That's common, universal issues, but facility has to be created.
Yes.
Hi, sir. My question is to Dr. Ramchand, sir. Sir, actually, you have mentioned about a novel biologic you have developed. So I am researching on the patentability of biologics. So I would like to know about this particular novel biologic you have developed, how it is you are developing, and the story behind it.
Yeah, you might be knowing there are two different fields are there. One is NC, new chemical entity, like small molecule, like paracetamol, brufen, etc. So that was kind of old. Now that number is coming down. Now the second type of molecule is, started with interferon. Like for example, the first biologic was insulin, then interferon alpha, interferon gamma, erythropoietin. Now it is mostly antibodies. Antibodies basically, for example, vascular endothelial growth factor, or TNF alpha, IL-1 beta, IL-6, IL-17. So like that, about 80 or 90 molecules are there. Now, you might have heard about biosimilars.
Yes.
Biosimilars means already when the molecule become off patent, anybody can start. So that will not generate much. That is only sales value. If it's a novel biologics, you will get about 10, 15 years of superiority for selling. And how to generate this biology? It is not like, there is something called synthetic biology. You might be knowing how NCEs are made. It is by organic medicinal chemistry synthetic process. The second one is by, classically these antibodies are produced by injecting antigen, taking the B cells. Then, there is chimeric cell lines are produced. All that is gone because you can't get a therapeutic molecule. Now it is called synthetic biology using phage display technology. And you don't need to make the entire, 150 kilodalton molecule, which is 1500. You can have part of it. For example, the antigen binding. That's what we have done. If you see, there is a molecule called Lucentis, which is to be injected into the eye. So we have developed another far superior molecule, novel molecule for wet AMD. And this is done through phage display, then which is called synthetic biology. Everything is synthesized. Then subsequently, it is, cloned into a bacterial system. It can be bacterial or mammalian system. That depending on your molecule. Then, the complete upstream, which is lab scale fermentation, then going to various different types of fermenters, up to 50. Then downstream processing. For example, this produces about 20,000 different protein, and you will have to purify that single protein without anything, no endotoxin, no host cell protein, no host cell DNA. Then analysis, about 25 different analytical technique, mainly connected to its configuration and conformation, then formulation, then all these regulatory approval, then you get the clinical evaluation. Please remember, India has not till date as sanctioned or approved for any phase 1 trial, for any NCE, any biology, this first molecule we got, what is called C6, for doing the phase 1 trial.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And if there is no more question, I think it's already time up, and we would like to... Yes, please.
So I'm representing Center of Excellence in Microbiome. So it's a new initiative. So we were working on the current available situation of microbiome-related research and translational potential. So I just wanted to know that what are the current things that you can suggest for me to explore the potential of microbiome-based research and translational level of, like a product development, the regulatory landscape, and what Kerala has to offer for this institution.
Yeah. So microbiome, we are talking about probiotic, isn't it? So the first thing is that, there is no therapeutic. That means the claims are approved. I don't think it has come. Hopefully it will come. Then the second thing is that, patenting is not that simple for probiotic. So if at all, if you want to do, what I suggest is that about 700, 800, probiotics are running around in all over India, and people are buying and selling. A simple example I will tell you. Have you heard, Yakult? Yakult is a fermented milk. What is the sales value right now? 20 billion worldwide. What is inside that? A bacteria, which is 2 billion bacteria is there, which they have isolated. Now, what is the clinical efficacy? Nobody knows. It is not there. It has to be proved. So that is one thing. Now, if you want to work on a probiotic, my suggestion is that identify some of these probiotic which is available, which is not patented, and say, is it for killing a gram-negative, for example, Clostridium, or controlling the diarrhea, or controlling the things like diarrhea, work on that, cholera. So work on that. And that you have to develop in vitro, then introduce that as a probiotic in the market after a simple clinical trial. And you will be successful because a lot of people are buying that.
Thank you, sir. Food microbiome or soil microbiome also some of the startups are working. So thank you. I hope, yes, one more, yes. I think this will be the last one because speakers are waiting.
So, okay, as you mentioned, so as of now, bootstrap startups are facing more financial problems to make our products into marketplace or making R&Ds. So as a bootstrap company, we don't have much fund to make R&D purpose machineries or something like that. So how the financial thing we can depend on?
Financial support, startup-based.
Yeah, I am representing Nexus Park. We are basically providing drone-based solutions.
Yes.
My name is Agil.
Okay, thank you, Akhil. Means we have already mentioned our support. What is given to you? We are giving from start of 4 lakhs grant to 25 lakhs grant. We are giving as a support, especially drone-based system. We have already nearly 3 startups with Kerala Agriculture University. So if it is a solution for the farming sector, okay, solution from the farming sector, and again, the drone can be used for some other application also other than farming. So, but if you have something connected with the farmers, plus, of course, you can have different purpose for the drone. We can just utilize that one. There is no problem. The business plan should be accordingly. That's all. The way the business plan, if somewhere there is a provision to help the farming sector, of course, we can support you. Okay, Agri-Business Incubation Center, and we can support up to 25 lakhs grant, as I mentioned, to get the updates from Agri-Business Incubation Center and the support. We have WhatsApp group, okay, because we will be announcing in that WhatsApp group as well as in national dailies and Doordarshan, everywhere it will be there. But to get the update as and when, no, you can just join our WhatsApp group of Agri-Business Incubation Center. You can just send a WhatsApp message to 974-666-5411. Okay, those who are listening, this one, you just send a message. Yeah, you can just send a message to 974-666-5411. Okay, send a message and you will get a link, and then you can join our group, and there will be free webinars on all aspects related to entrepreneurship, packaging, then marketing, digital marketing, licensing, registration. So such online webinars will be there, and entrepreneurship sessions will be there. And then, of course, regarding the grant launching, and that launching will be done towards the first week of May month. So be ready with the innovative ideas in agri sector, agri or food sector, which doesn't mean that you have to come up with the value-added products or agriculture thing, okay, agriculture product. But you can come up with some sensors, you can come up with some mobile app which connect to the farmer and the consumer. So you can think about anything which will be ultimately helping our farming community, okay. So you can get up to 25 lakhs grant, okay. This is from our side, and of course Dr. Preeti will mention about the support from NIT.
Yeah, just to add to what Sudhir sir was telling for the non-agricultural side, there is Niti Prayas program in around 40 plus centers all throughout India, which is giving you up to 10 lakhs of grant for the prototype development, that is idea to prototype. And from then on, you have further other schemes like Startup India Seed Fund scheme, where many of the incubation centers are offering. You can get up to 1 crore, up to 50 lakhs is very normal, which is mostly into an equity-based funding system. And you have now the new scheme coming up from the MeitY, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, called Genesis. There are 3 types of centers for Genesis. We are Group 2 centers, and there are Group 1 centers and Group 3 centers also, wherein you can get various kinds of assistances, starting from the 6 lakhs grant, which is their EIR scheme, and there is another seed fund scheme which is up to 30 lakhs, and then another matching fund scheme in which you can get up to 40 lakhs of funds. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. I think, I hope the funding opportunity is clear to those students and budding startups again. Now, this is the time to conclude because speakers are waiting. So, thank you, KCST, for giving us the opportunity for sharing what is happening in this, to build up this ecosystem. And in the beginning itself, it was mentioning the number of startups in 2016 was around only 500 in our country, and now it is almost 1,60,000. Okay, so you just see how the number of startups are increasing, and you can say exponentially. I think we can see the increase. So be one among the startup, and we are there to support you. The entire ecosystem is there to support you, including Kerala Startup Mission, universities, then technical business incubation centers, and all research organization, and the mentors like Professor Chand and again Professor Sebastian. So many mentors are there. Okay, you can go to the mentor pool, and there are many mentors to support you, to guide you, and as I mentioned, collaboration, networking. With that, of course, you can succeed. So with this note, I would like to thank all my fellow panelists, Professor Ramchand, and then Professor Sebastian, and Professor Dr. Preeti from NIT Calicut for joining me in this panelist. And I thank on behalf of KCST and also on behalf of Kerala Agriculture University. Thank you. Thank you for joining this panelist.
Thank you all the panel members for an informative and enriching session. May I request Professor K.P. Sudhir to hand over the token of appreciation and gratitude to the panel members. Firstly, I call upon Dr. C.N. Ramchand. Next, we have Dr. Sebastian C. Peter. Next, we have Dr. Preeti M. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Dr.